Hello everyone, my name is Saad Amir and today's video is going to be about how to maneuver the GRE quant calculator. Now a couple of things I would like to bring to your notice is that I've made very specific points and to the core. So you guys should listen to this very carefully. Secondly, I absolutely do not have any complexes that I will be reading from my notes, and I'm sure that you don't also. Thirdly, it just cracks me up at times that people say to subscribe, share, comment, like, and I don't know what else to the channel. What I feel is if they genuinely think that the content is right, they would genuinely do that, and that too from the bottom of their heart. So yeah. Now moving on. I will be addressing 4 questions. The first one is whether or not you should use the online calculator. The second, how to use the online calculator. The third, when to use the online calculator. And the fourth, where to use the online calculator. Now, addressing to the first question, whether or not you should use the online calculator. Now, this is a very good question, and people actually do not guide you because they've not been through the process multiple times. So the Crux says, yes, you should use the online calculator. Now, what you would be thinking is that mental math actually supersedes the online calculator. Yes, agreed. But there are certain stages in the test that you need to use the online calculator. I will explain these stages in the latter half. The second question, how to use the online calculator. Now, this is also a very detailed and a very good question. Now, the first thing I would like to reiterate is that you do not have to use the mouse. I would again repeat, do not use the mouse. This is a very classical trap, a very classic trap by the ETS. They basically say, convince you to use the mouse. Now, what's the solution to this? You use the keyboard. You use the keyboard's number pad. Now, I'll give you an example. For example, if you're using a mouse and you're solving, for example, 4.2 into 8.7, you'll have to first click on 4, then point, then 2, then into the cross sign, then 8, then point again, then 7, then equal to. So it takes about 30 to 40 milliseconds more, and the entire game of the GRE is to beat the time. Now, next question, why don't people know about this? This is also a very interesting question. So firstly, the majority don't guide. I made the same useless errors and ended up with very low scores previously. Now, secondly, I would like to give a very good tip that usually the number log is off when you go to the test center. By off, I mean that it is not working because the number log is on basically. So you need to see that the number log is either on or off. If it's on, you should try to switch it off yourself and see if it's working. If not, you should call the administration and tell them that this isn't working. I need the number log off. I would again say you would need the number log off. And you have every right. Why? Because you've paid $205 and the administration and ETS is very accommodating. Secondly, the test day pressure makes them think linearly, all the candidates, like everyone. So they don't make experiments of either using the mouse or the keyboard. If you've practiced beforehand, I can guarantee you that you're going to prefer the number pad any time over the mouse. Believe me, I've committed these mistakes. Lastly, the test these days is at home because of COVID, right? So I would say that those people who do not have a number pad in their laptops, they can buy that USB calculator and use that. So you are actually legally allowed to use that. So you should take advantage of it. Okay, keep in mind that every time you use the calculator, you have to click inside the calculator and then type. It can't be that you just keep on pressing the keypad numbers and the calculator works. Every time you have to click inside the calculator so it switches on again, and then you use the keyboard. I'm going to further elaborate in the latter half. Now the third question. The third question is when to use the online calculator. Now I would sum it up by saying that the summary is basically to use them at 3 stages during the count section. The first stage is when you're using decimals and not integers. The second, when you're solving probability and permutation and combination questions, the logic again is that they are usually in decimals or fractions. And thirdly, this is the game changer. I would again say this is the game changer, that the data interpretation should always be dealt with the online calculator and while using the keyboard. Now, okay, I'll guide you a little about the data interpretation section also. Now that we've talked about the data interpretation section, the entire game to win the section is they are always from question 14 to 16. So this is a very good thing about ETS, that the test is very, very uniform. So now question 14 to 16 is usually, no, I wouldn't even say usually, it is spot on. It is always, according to my experience, data interpretation. So you should be prepared that you have to use the online calculator here. So now I would suggest you another tip. Usually question 16 is the toughest in data interpretation, and it is definitely a level 5 question. So now how to deal with it? A basic trap that I've always found in question 16 is that they will give you 3 types of any data points, data sets I mean. For example, a bar chart or a pie chart or a histogram, for example, these 3. And you wouldn't be using one of them. For example, you wouldn't be using the pie chart. I'm just giving you an example. But in question 16, what will happen is that you will scroll again and again and see if it is required, and you'll get confused and you'll waste your time, and at the end of the day you will still not be able to solve because it doesn't require that pie chart. So this is something that you should keep in mind. This is a trap that ETS sets. This test is actually an art. They are actually artists. So I've reiterated that question 16 is the hardest, and you should always use the online calculator in data interpretation. Also, another tip that came to my mind right now is that, for example, they will give you very, very big numbers. For example, 6 million, 7 million, 8 million. So the trick to that is, I think you guys would know that you should eliminate those zeros from every amount. So basically, it's ceteris paribus. Now, coming to the fourth question, where to use it? Now, probably you guys would think that I'm mad. I'm saying where to use it. Obviously, you will be using it in the test center, but there's another game to it. Of course, you will be using it in the test center. Where else? But be specific about it. And my tip is going to be very, very specific. Please listen to this. Keep your keyboard to the left. To the left. I would again repeat, to your left. Why? Because you will have to, it's better if you type those numbers with your left hand and use the calculator to press those AC buttons, so that, or any button inside the calculator, so that the calculator switches on and then you use your keypad and then the calculator switches on. So it actually becomes really easy for everyone to use. I've done that, and I just mentioned previously that I'm going to reiterate in the latter half. This is how you use it. You take advantage of the mouse as well as the keypad, like this. Now, my crux to the video is that I honestly got so fluent with the keypad calculator that I even did basic calculations such as 17 into 21, which I think should be 357. I'm not sure, yeah, but yeah, 357. Yeah, so this is exactly why I use the online calculator, because I got the hang of it. I am sure you will also. Just start practicing like this. Secondly, I can easily brag about saying that I am a genius, and I usually used to solve all the questions with my mental math and stuff like that. I didn't. Initially I did, but when I got the hang of it, I usually used a calculator. for as simple calculations as 17 into 21 and stuff like that. Thirdly, you should understand the fact that machines can't be wrong, but the human mind can commit a blunder. So it is totally your choice, but given my experience, I am like not a very, I would not say that I'm very big GRE guru or something like that. There are a lot of people who might be better than me. But yeah, I wanted to put this out there. I wanted to make it very specific, very specific. No things like, hi, welcome to my channel, subscribe, like, share, comment, stuff like that. No. So yeah, this is exactly where I'm going to end my video. I hope you liked it. It had to be long. I can make very short videos. I can make like videos of 2 to 3 minutes. It's totally your choice. You can comment. I'm not saying that comment, but yeah, you can comment asking, giving your opinion if you still need shorter videos, but that won't cover all these tips. So yeah, the call is yours. You guys are calling the shots. Take care everyone, and good luck with this test.